Hello and welcome back to another episode of the 34 podcast. This is the fifth episode. Joining me today again is Raptor.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
I am Nug, and let's get into it. Our first topic we're going to talk about is Dame Lillard. He's been going off. He's been averaging, well, he had 61, and I think he had somewhere in the 50s, and then last game they clinched it, he had 42. What do you think about him?
Um, LeBron's gonna rue the day he ever faced him.
Oh, I'd be scared.
If I was LeBron or any Lakers player, I would be having nightmares right now.
Well, no, definitely KCP because he's got nobody to give him any rest off the bench to guard him. Because you know it ain't
If
gonna be LeBron on him. He's gonna just let everybody else get torched.
if I was the Lakers, I would be. Well, I mean, you have to be confident. I get that, but my God, that's no. I wouldn't. I would be scared. I would see that face when Dame hit that shot in Paul George's face, staring at the camera in my nightmares.
Well, you also got to think if they've only got one guy to guard Dame really, and then they've got CJ who could go off on them that they have no ability to
Well,
really
who's
guard
gonna guard
efficient.
LeBron? I mean, no, Dame.
Who's gonna guard? It's gonna be KCP. It has to be. They have no Bradley. They have no Rondo.
And if they even try to put LeBron on him,
Well,
the speed
LeBron's
difference is horrible.
if I was Dame, every time I see LeBron, I'd try to take him off the dribble or step back on him.
If he can do what if he can do that step back stuff to Paul George, who was a way better defender than LeBron, he'd have his way with LeBron off the dribble.
Well,
Wouldn't even care.
they've got to guard LeBron. They've got Gary Trent Jr., which should be able to efficiently do that.
Yeah, that Trailblazers team is scary. They
And
have a lot
they
of
got
defense.
Melo there too. Melo's gonna be I don't. The thing with Melo is he's gonna pull JaVale out of the paint. Because
Yeah,
who are you putting? Are you putting Davis on Nurk or are you putting Davis on Melo? I'd put Davis on Nurk, but we'll see what Vogel does.
Nurk can do his thing too, so it's gonna be fun to
Well, yeah,
watch. On
Nurk's more there to maybe give you 15 against Davis and just play really good defense.
I was watching a YouTuber that I like to watch, and I'm not sure if you agree with this comparison, but he compared it to back like when Kobe was in his like business, and he was like single handedly carrying the not so good Lakers to like where they ended up before he tore his ACL.
So it's
I,
flipped now to where Dame's Kobe and the Lakers are actually the team that's facing the Kobe-like player. Is that what you're getting at?
Basically, I'm not sure if you agree with that statement because I mean the Trailblazers aren't completely trash, but
I
like
agree. I agree with that. I think this Lakers team is a really good team, but I think it gives off 01 Kings vibes, if I'm not gonna lie. They got a really good four. Like they have Davis now, they had Weber back then, and then they had, I don't know, you could probably, I mean, LeBron's a good player. I'm not trying to discount him any, but you could probably combine, I think they had Mike Bibby, Peja Stojakovic, and Divac would go together to combine to get like a LeBron. And I just think it's a really good matchup. I don't know if I feel like Dame and the Blazers have the best chance, but I don't know if they'll pull it out. But it's going to be at least 6 or 7 before the Lakers can get out of it, and that's going to
well, he
hurt them.
said
And
that if it's like the Kobe days, if Kobe didn't tear his ACL, they would have been scary, and I think they would have got past the round that he got injured in.
oh,
And you
you're
can
talking
correct me.
about 2012?
Yeah, when he tore his
Oh,
like,
okay, okay,
but he was insane up until then.
yeah.
He was the reason for them making it that far. I think Dame's the same reason. I don't wish an injury upon Dame, but other than that part, it reminds me of Kobe and doing what he did for that team.
Did you see what Dame did last night?
No, what did he?
He hit that logo three. He literally took off from the edge of the NBA logo, which is slimmer than most team logos,
Why
slimmer
am
than
I
all
not
the team logos.
surprised?
Like I don't know. I mean, I used to think it was Curry range, but the way Dame hits consistently from out there, I think
Dame
Dame's
range?
taking the title because
Is it Dame range
Curry
now?
can hit from out there, but he hits maybe 40, and Dame can hit somewhere around 50 generally from out there.
And like
As
Curry's
much
probably one of the best shooters of all time, but I've seen Dame hit some like and 1 3 pointers and just some step backs that I honestly don't think Curry could even hit.
Well,
Honestly,
yeah, but another thing with Curry is Curry can pull more threes than Dame can. Dame has to pick his spots more than Curry because he and CJ are really the only elite 3-point shooters. Well, Melo's on that team, but Melo has to pick his spots too. But
Yeah.
the Clay and Curry can keep splashing it. I mean, that's what they do, and they can get more shots because they move kind of like Houston, but they slow the ball down more.
Hence the Splash Brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, which 2021, but the Dame has to pick his shots. Like what he said, I listened to the post game press conference last night after he dropped 42 and I think 12 assists. He was trying to facilitate for the first three possessions before that, and there wasn't much going. So he knew because they were down by like seven at that point that he had to do something. So he came up big there with that big shot, and he says he knows he has to hit those. So he's just
See,
good
I
under
just don't
pressure.
understand. Like, I mean, like, and it's a good not understanding how that man right there. I mean, I know they lost against the Celtics, but this man literally took the team on his back and banged him back from 20,
Yeah.
basically on.
They beat the Celtics. I thought. I thought they won that game.
No, remember when Nurkic threw it
Oh, Nurkic. Okay, yeah, we
8
went
feet
over that
above the
last
guy who
time.
tried for
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I they okay.
But
Well, they
Dame
won
literally
most of.
brought that team back from 20, and I'm just like off of step backs, low key. Like half of them weren't even standing.
He's so quick too. Like he can get past people. Like he's got the whole package. I mean, honestly, the only thing that does any damage to him at all, and he puts up 60. So how much damage does it really do? Is that he's 6'3"? No, is he six? He's anywhere from 6'1" to 6'3". If he was like 6'4", 6'5", it'd be even worse for people.
But him being smaller helps his speed, and we know
Yeah,
what
the
Dame
speed.
can
I
do.
mean, we see that when you play 2K, you make the guy smaller, he gets more speed. I mean,
Yeah, but it's just like real life, and it's the same thing with 2K. I mean, sorry for the comparison, but it's true. Height does matter in that league.
yeah, I mean, it's
More
becoming
so in
that
a
way.
virtual thing, but
But I mean, now you're getting guys that come into the league more now than even with you saying height matters. Now you got guys like Bol Bol and Michael Porter Jr. and Sharif coming soon, and I hope his game extends into the NBA, and I assume it will. He's Shaq's boy, but they can pull out and shoot threes, and Wiseman can.
yeah.
You also got point guards coming in this year, like LaMelo, who's 6'8", who can. You kind of give me the Lamar Odom vibes, where he can play multiple positions, but like Lamar Odom never was like taking people off the dribble, and like LaMelo's gonna be crazy wherever he ends up. Maybe
There's,
Detroit, hopefully Detroit, but
I mean, the scary part is about guys that are coming into the league that are taller. Like, and I'm not sure if you agree with this, but Bull, and KPJ could literally bring up the ball on like from the like they could bring up the ball
so
low
can
key,
Jokic.
which is just scary.
7-footers with handles. It's because they nowadays coaches have gotten out if they're smart coaches. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of those, I'm not going to call them dumb, but old style coaches that still, when they
Boylan.
see somebody in a certain position, when they're younger, they like to keep them. If they know they're going to be tall, they stick them in the center position. But if you really want to have a great team that's going to last you a long time, you have to get those centers where they have the ability to handle the ball, or else they're just
Hence
going to be
Bull.
isolated. That goes on any level. That goes on any level, high school, even down to elementary. You need to get your bigger guys to be able to handle the ball because you don't know. Like with Durant, why Durant's so good with the ball is because I think he was short up until like ninth or 10th grade, and then he had that big spurt. And the same thing happened with Davis. That's why Davis has such good handles, Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
I don't know what who trained Bobo, but I've never. He's a rare talent. I don't know, but
His dad was not moving like that.
his dad barely shit. I don't. He's a totally different player. Like
I know.
most kids, you can compare somewhat to their dads in some form or way. I
Height.
guess you
But the only
Bobo
thing.
and his dad both have the defense, but that's really the only thing you can combine them together with. All the rest, Bobo makes his dad look kind of mediocre if he can go to the level he goes to. Makes his dad, he's
Defense
gonna
and height are
shadow.
like the only two comparisons.
Yeah,
Literally the only two.
yeah.
Bol
Uh,
Bol can shoot way better. He can dribble. He can literally break his dad's own ankles if he really tried. I would not.
well, that his dad's passed on now, but I get
I
what you're
know, but if
saying.
I,
I know what you're saying. But back to Dame, we kind of gotten off on a little tangent
yeah,
here, but Dame just has been on an absolute tear.
game
He
time.
knew he had to do it, and that's
He's been
why
he's been on game time.
he's firmly made me believe that he's the best point guard in the league. Many people say, well, Kyrie's good, but Kyrie has no leadership skills whatsoever because it seems like he's more focused on himself than anything. You
Um,
got you got Curry, Dame plays a hell of a lot better defense than Curry can, so that
how
knocks
can a
Curry down a
bipolar
notch.
guy be a good point guard?
Who
Uh,
do you compare? I mean, who is it? Who do you have even getting close to Dame's level?
Steph, literally only Steph.
I really can't think of anybody else. I mean,
Steph's
Russell
not as
Westbrook
like. I'm
can't
sorry,
shoot. His
Steph
game
is not as good as Dame. I really don't think.
Steph
I'm
isn't
sorry.
as good as Dame, but he's got. I mean,
Steph has
Dame's got
more.
the good piece too, but Steph's got Clay to bail him out on
I
defense.
can't even say Steph's a better shooter anymore.
No, not well. Depends on the area. I feel like Steph is more of a catch and shoot guy generally, where Dame is more of an off the dribble guy. Which Steph
Great
can
his
do
own
that
thing.
too, but I mean that's Dame's more spot where Steph is a guy. What Steph does so well is he'll pass the ball away and then he makes such good cuts and then he hits the screen so hard that he can just pop and hit that three. It's the offense that helps him become better. And they knew he was like that, so they built the offense around him. But with
Well, Steph,
Dame,
the play that
Dame's got
always
to bring
gets
up the
me,
ball. Dame,
Steph, the thing that always gets me when Steph plays is, and I'm sure you've seen the play hundreds of thousands of times by now. When he passes the ball at the top of the key, he does his full like run around the key. He hits the
mhm,
off ball screen and he gets the winger top of the key three every damn time. I swear.
every time. That's a I'm trying to think. That's a Horns offense. I think somewhat of a Horns.
I thought that was a motion, low key,
It could be
some
that
type
could
of
be that's like
emotion.
that floppy play they run in 2K.
I was yeah the when he comes kind of out from the paint, not from like the
Yeah,
other
with
side.
this that's literally floppy. That's probably what they run because the one guy sets a screen low and then the guy pops up. Yeah, they literally run the
And he
floppy.
hits the off ball screen at every time, and it's pretty much game from there. But
I know anybody that doesn't play 2K has no idea what we're talking about, but I mean, I did just explain it. But the floppy is a play where the point guard calls the player, whoever's bringing up the ball, they pass, or no, the point guard still has the ball. Whoever calls the play still has the ball, but generally you want to move to the wing, and then the guy gets a screen that's he's either probably coming from the corner or a wing, and gets a screen, and then he comes up either on the opposite wing or the top for a pretty good look.
it's basically, I mean, at least in the game, it's open all the time. And when it comes to Steph in real life, it seems to be open every time.
Yeah, and I mean Clay could do that as well. That's why that team's so good.
But Dame doesn't depend on screens as much as
No, well,
Steph.
he has hit a few. If you've watched any of his game lately, he gets right off the screen and he pulls immediately. But he doesn't do the same. It's different than what the Warriors do.
Like no discount to Steph, but Dame does not use as much screens as Steph.
No, Dame's just he best point guard in the league. I like
Dame's
Steph a
on
lot, but
game
he's the
time.
best. He's better all around than Steph. I like watching Steph. Don't get me wrong, but like I said, yeah.
I don't want to jump to conclusions, but do you think LaMelo Ball has any chance of being the best PG when he comes in?
It's gonna take at least three, I think, 3 years.
I think his height will help him. He needs to be able to,
Well, it depends on what team he gets on, where they position him. Because if he gets drafted to Golden State first pick, he's probably gonna play the three. He's probably gonna play, but
yeah,
if he goes to the Knicks or the Pistons, he's playing the
starting
one.
point guard. Yeah,
He's playing, or who else is it? Minnesota. No, even Minnesota, he'll probably be the two. So it depends on where he gets drafted. Depends on whether he's a guard or not.
I was gonna say that the Suns, him
I'm
at the
trying to.
one, book at the two.
Well, that depends on draft lottery, which is next Thursday, by the way.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch
But
that.
um, trying to pull it up right now. I just saw a post on IG earlier about the draft stock. Maybe I didn't save it. I didn't
Because
say.
if LaMelo Ball goes to the Suns, that wouldn't be bad either.
No, they need somebody. I've also pushed for the possibility of a Simmons trade. I think a Simmons trade will work really good for the Suns, but I don't know if they have the pieces to pull it off. I don't know if Phoenix would take their draft pick. I mean, not Phoenix. I don't know if the 76ers would take a draft pick, but I don't think they will. I think they want a
Something
ready
big.
to go piece that's already been made a point in the league. I thought a D'Lo for Simmons trade would have worked instead of the Wiggins trade for the Golden State, but it never went through. But
Yeah,
that was a heavy possibility. I don't know. I know Miami doesn't want to give up Bam Adebayo, but that would be a pretty even trade.
Bam is so good.
Um, I don't know. It's gonna be hard to move. I've said the possibility of a. I don't think it's gonna happen, but if Giannis doesn't opt in,
Yeah.
I don't think it. I think that will work for both teams, but I think it's highly unlikely.
I mean, if the Bucks don't win this year, Giannis might be shipping himself somewhere else.
Well, yeah, that's why I said well, that's a big that's a big topic for another day, but I really yeah, teams like Phoenix needs a better guard than Ricky Rubio. Needs a more modern guard. LaMelo would be a really good pickup for them.
What about the Kings? The Kings want a guy like LaMelo or no?
I don't. They just speaking of the Kings, they just moved Joe Dumars into their starting GM, their GM. They
Oh damn!
kicked out Vlade Divac today. I don't blame him. Vlade Divac's done nothing for them, really. He's kind of set them up with some pieces, but not finished it. But
Yeah,
I don't. The Kings. No, you got Fox. You're gonna want to build around Fox. I don't really think because we saw Simmons would not work there because you see when you moved him to a different spot, he's just too focused on passing, and it's just not gonna work.
Simmons would work on the Bucks. Like I know it's a long shot, but he would work if he went there.
Well, yeah, you can move DiVincenzo in the starting lineup and bring Bledsoe off the bench if you do that. But
Yeah,
yeah, problem with the Bucks is and it's the problem Giannis has had. Their shooters are too inconsistent at times. Middleton's really good when he's on, but when he's off, he's basically useless
he
because he's
can't
not a good
find the net.
driver. He's not a good slash at all. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, back uh, Dame. But yeah, Dame's getting it. I feel like Dame has a chip on his shoulder, and everybody's still discounting them against the Lakers. But of course, that's ESPN, and I mean, yes, I bet LeBron owns stock in ESPN and just hasn't said anything because you can't really do that as a player, I don't think.
Well, that kind of leads us. I mean, there's really not much else to say about that. But that
Yeah,
last thing about the
let's
Lakers kind of leads us into our next thing.
the bubble. Let's talk about the bubble.
The Lakers suck.
Lakers, well, they don't suck, but they're playing under
They
their
lost to the Oklahoma
potential.
City Thunder by 50, and they
They're
suck.
playing way under their potential. They didn't play their players that game. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
They played AD, didn't they? And they still lost.
Yeah, AD. I don't get how you can consider him a top five player if he can't even get his own points when
Um.
there's not somebody passing to him consistently. I really don't.
Okay, but I get what you said there. But literally, he's the when he scores 30, they win. When he doesn't, gone. No,
I
they're out.
know, I know, but it's like if he doesn't have a facilitator, he's dead on arrival. I don't. I
And
mean,
all these, like, and no disrespect for these Lakers fans, but all of them saying, "Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't." Yes, it does.
but
Like,
that's
huh?
That's how I feel about them calling LeBron MVP. There's no real MVP on that Lakers team. They both rely on each other so heavily that you can't consider one or the other in the MVP race, which is why I give Giannis is definitely the MVP because, like I said, when they saw the other day when they played Memphis with everybody but Giannis, they got beat by 20.
Yeah.
And I just don't, I don't know. It's just hard for me to Davis is made. I think he's top 10, but I don't think he's top five because he can't get his own stuff when there's nobody just
Are you
straight
talking
pass.
top 5 players in the league or?
Top five player
Big
in the
man.
league, yeah, because most people say, well, Davis is in my top five. For one thing, he hasn't shown anything. For another, like I said, he can't get his own when nobody's just whipping him the ball every other possession.
Davis isn't a top 5 player, but he's a top 5 big. I'll give him that.
He's top five big, yeah. There's not the pro. See, you say top five big, but the problem is the bigs are getting so few and far between that when somebody's really good, he's just up there anyway.
Yeah, but he's already been in the league for a while.
Yeah, I know. I'm
He
just
hasn't.
saying, like, you know, 5 or 6 years ago, you know who was a top five big?
Who?
DeAndre Jordan and Andre Drummond. And look now. Look now.
They both suck.
I didn't even want Drummond on the Pistons last year because he was such a ball hog and can't finish. But he was still
DeAndre
getting
Jordan's
14
still playing
rebounds.
better than Drummond.
I don't know. They're both not very they both have a smaller and smaller place in the league is the problem. I'd rather have Jared Allen if I was the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah,
I would not put DeAndre in the starting lineup. I don't care if I have to trade Kyrie mid-season because he won't shut up. I'm not putting DeAndre in the starting lineup. I don't care. I'll send Kyrie. Hey, Kyrie for Simmons. At that point, maybe they'd trade for that. If I was Philly, I wouldn't trade for that. But somebody's gonna be dumb enough to do it.
and like this might get some controversy, but as a Raptors fan, I like watching the Lakers struggle
I do too.
because all these
I'm not. I'm.
people in like on ESPN and stuff saying, "Oh, the Lakers are clearly the favorites." Yeah, and that's where they had a negative record in the freaking 8 games. Really?
I don't. I don't know about the last couple of games, but every game I saw that they were putting out their field goal percentage for every game. In the
It was
first
like
five
30.
games, there was one game that was at 50, and it was against the Jazz, and they won. All the rest were around 30. And part of that problem is LeBron thinks he's Steph now, and like I said last podcast, he will not drive to the paint. He is 285, 6'8". Get to the paint. You look bad. He would look a lot better missing 10 layups than he would missing 5 threes, in my
See,
opinion.
when I think of LeBron, the first thing you think of, right, is like the big bringing down the hammer on whoever's standing in the paint. He won't do that anymore.
Well, he's still got he does it occasionally, but yeah, I know he's waning and people don't see it, but that's a different
No, they
story for
see it.
another day.
I would admit it, but I'm not going to say
They
anything
don't
more.
they don't see it. The reason I say they don't see it is because Ramona Shelberg just said she voted for LeBron because of narrative. That's why they don't see it, because ESPN has brainwashed everybody because every other day you get, oh, it's Taco Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Every other day on ESPN, it's Taco Tuesday because
And now every other
they
day, the
can't
Lakers are
handle that their old great king is starting to lose his game just like he's lost his hair slowly.
and now every other day, the Lakers are losing. So
I take great enjoyment out of it. He
I'm
acts
sorry.
like just because he's in the West, he's gonna just come, and he acts like winning getting the best record in the West in the regular season matters. That's a useless stat. That really is. It's
See,
a
what gets me excited, and I mean, me and you have gone back and forth on this, like off of this podcast, and you know that I don't feel the Warriors are going to be back to full strength, but you feel like they're going to be pretty much there. But either way, I'm going to enjoy watching them at somewhat full strength beating the out of the Lakers.
Yeah, the Lakers. I don't think they're going to re-sign Bradley, but they have to. I think they're going to be mad at Bradley and not re-sign him, and then they're going to have nowhere to go.
And then watch LeBron pulls his oh, we didn't win. Bye. See ya.
He
I'm going
pulls
somewhere
that,
else.
oh, we didn't win today, my groin hurts act.
Yeah, like you did against James Harden and the Rockets.
Yeah, but
My groin hurts, but literally, when I tell you this, and I'm not kidding, he was literally caught running around in happiness when somebody drained a 3 ball. Yeah, your groins hurt, really? Mm-hmm.
yeah, the league should fine people for that. I even like Kawhi and other guys, they should really, if they see him, like, they should.
Kawhi doesn't really move even if he's healthy on the bench.
I don't know. I've seen a little more on the Clippers than anywhere else I've seen. I think he's pretty happy right now. But
Yeah,
yeah,
he's at home. That's
but yeah, the Lakers they need to figure it out, or they're going to be figuring it out back at home because they tell them to leave the bubble when they lose.
Dame, before the final shot for this series, will say, "Have fun figuring it
Oh,
out."
I know it'll probably be Dame taking the last shot, but I would love it for it to be Carmelo take the last shot to down LeBron because LeBron, even as much, oh, Melo should get a spot. Melo should get a
Banana
spot.
boat.
He was a free agent, and you needed a backup three, and you did not sign him on the Lakers because as much as they don't say he has pull in the front office, I know at least three teams that he's traded half of them just to get in playoff position. So don't give me that line of crap.
Banana boat.
Ain't no banana boat. More
No, no,
Melo would
it's
have been
funny.
more likely to get a job with Chris Paul than he would have with LeBron because as much
No,
as
but
he
it's just
fronts
funny
as being
because if that happens, a banana boat, Melo would be taking out LeBron.
yeah, I'm I just I mean I didn't have a ton of just props for LeBron, but I think that was pretty low that he couldn't
A
even
ton
he
of
was
respect,
complaining
yeah.
about Melo not having a job and yet they signed Jared Dudley. You signed Jared Dudley and guys like that. I mean, no, that was this year. Melo was already on Portland's roster. But I'm saying like you needed that backup three about halfway through the season last year. And Melo still didn't have a job till about All Star break with the Blazers, and he did nothing. All right, we're talking about the bubble. I got off on a tangent, probably lose some people watching after that one, but I don't care because
Well,
that's how
that
I
was
feel.
one of our topics. We wanted to talk about the Lakers, so
Well, that's how I feel, and that's how I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna fake
yeah,
stuff
the
just because
Lakers
I'm doing
suck
a
and are gonna
podcast,
lose. End
but
of story.
um, anybody's a Lakers fan. If you didn't like it, I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. All right, that's enough about the Lakers. How about Giannis's little? I'll just call it a fit last night. Not last night, a couple nights ago. That was a fit when he headbutted University of Michigan alum Mo Wagner. As much as I like Giannis, it kind of gets on my nerves hitting Wagner.
It was a moment thing. I don't even blame him. Wagner was getting up in his face. I would have done the same thing.
Well, I think it was partially was because Giannis was they were putting up the wall against him, and his shooters were shooting shooting okay that night, and I think he was just frustrated because he knows if his shooters aren't shooting good, they can't win easily, and he can't do like Dame because he doesn't have a three ball that's efficient.
And like, I guess there's no excuse for what he did, but like, Wagner literally reacted like he got punched. Like he literally tapped him. Chill
Yeah,
out.
and when he shouldn't have been walking through there because that was going towards their huddle. He needed to go around.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't. He's got to control himself on that because if he does that in the playoffs and they lose a game, that could be the series. I mean, last year you see he needed every game he got. Like if he'd done that in the Toronto game and they might have won that one, that would have looked bad.
But if that's the case, right? Like, if Giannis headbutts somebody and then lose the series off of that, that team doesn't deserve to be there. Then if they can't do anything without a player, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Like I get it, Giannis is the guy who makes that team go, but like if you can't win with that one player not being there,
yeah,
you
they
shouldn't
should
be in the
have.
playoffs.
I mean, they're in a bad position because they gave Middleton money and they had to give Middleton money because they have no two piece. But the problem with giving Middleton money is you cut off Brogdon's money, and Brogdon is the big player that they're missing right now because
Yeah,
Brogdon can put up points and facilitate more than Bledsoe was there more for defense. Bledsoe was a 25-point game scorer, but now he's just not in that mindset. Lopez could give you points, but he doesn't do it consistently anymore. They have so many good defensive players that they've overdone it almost, and they're okay on defense, but they're like there's good nights and bad nights for them, and that's not going to get it done all the time. And I don't know. I'm more the Bucks. I've kind of waned in my confidence with the Bucks, but I think the real team that has really shown me some promise is your Raptors. I think they've got a good shot now if Giannis and the Bucks can't get it together out of the
other than
East.
that 30-point loss to the or 20 to the Celtics, we beat the Nuggets today.
Well, that's
We handily,
matchups too.
we handily beat the Lakers. We beat the Heat, beat the Grizz. I mean the Grizz aren't really, but you know.
Well, they've got to play in the play-in tomorrow. They kind of
Beat the Nuggets, who are a very good team.
yeah.
So I think the Raptors have a chance at back-to-back finals. I'm not sure if they're gonna win it, but
I
I
don't
think we
know
can make it back there.
if the Lakers manage to get past Dame and the Clippers and who else?
Then they might deserve
And
the
the
Eastern
Rock,
Conference. We'll
possibly
get it at that
Rockets or
point.
Thunder, and then somehow on one or two legs make it against the Raptors. Siakam will send the ball back at LeBron and take another ring because that matchup is bad for the Lakers if they have to play the Raptors, if they even
Well, we
get
already
there.
know what OG did to LeBron. My God, that was bad.
Kawhi with no offense, with little offense. I say no offense
I
every
would
time and then
rather
have to
that
correct
though, because if
myself.
there's a lockdown on defense for us, I'll take that
Well,
any
they
day.
don't need that, especially when you got Kyle Lowry giving you 30. I'm not
30
gonna
and like
lie,
three
I didn't.
charges a game.
Maybe DeRozan was holding him back at one point because I did not think Lowry was half the player he has been since DeRozan left.
Lowry's, I don't, I mean, no, no, that's a stretch. I was gonna say he's a top 5 point guard now.
I don't. He has his moments, but
Top
like
10, top 10. I'll give him
top
top 10.
10, yeah. It also helps that Fred VanVleet can guard some of the better guards for them.
Plus, Van Vliet can shoot his shot with
Well,
the
not that
utmost
Lowry can play
confidence.
defense too, but I think Van Fleet's a little bit quicker on his feet.
Yeah,
But
he's also younger. That helps that, but
yeah, I mean, it's kind of the Steph Clay thing there a little bit. It's not as
yeah,
much because Kyle Lowry can play better defense than Curry can, but I think
yeah.
they got a very good chance, and especially because who are you gonna again? That's the Lakers' biggest issue going into this run. Well, actually, they do get Rondo back in the second round, but again, they got to make it past Dame, and that's could happen, could not happen. We got to see how it plays out. But they're gonna be. Rondo has been a shell of himself this season. He's been okay, but he's regressed to the weakest point I've seen him play at since it, from when he left the Celtics. This is the most I've seen him weighing down. He is getting older, I get that, but I just I don't know. I don't. How much can you rely on KCP? I mean, as much as he's out there for defense, when he's giving you like 6 points a game, that's not going to get it done. Danny Green's a big piece for that, a guard play. But they need more offense somewhere, and Kuz doesn't always give it to him. But
Dude, I love Danny. He was a big part for us. Literally had 19 minutes and dropped nothing for the Lakers.
well, yeah, I know, yeah, that too, yeah,
Nothing in
that's true. I
19
forgot
minutes.
they shut him down. They knew how he
That is
wanted to play.
horrible.
He's lucky that Kawhi held out the league because I don't think he would have got half the contract if more people had signed with the Lakers.
Wasn't it a literal thing around the NBA? The Kawhi watch or something
Yeah, Kawhi
like
watch,
that?
and then that's all it was just Kawhi orchestrating the PG trade. Well, he wasn't orchestrating it, but he was pushing for it.
I remember I was out in BC at my grandma's, and I went to bed, right? And I'm like, damn,
Yeah, it was like two in
Kawhi
the
signed
morning,
with the
like
Clippers,
two,
and I
three
was
in the
like,
morning.
damn, that's tough. Well, for me, it was like 11 because it's like three hours
Oh
behind. I
yeah,
was like,
you're right. You're on
here
West
at
Coast.
2:30, but I was there, and I'm like, damn, Kawhi is now a Clipper. That's cool. And then I kid you not, 10 minutes later, Clippers have also acquired Paul George. I'm like,
For like 57 draft picks and a horse.
I was like, what?
Yeah, but
Literally 10 minutes after the Kawhi news broke, Paul George is now a Clipper too. And then the next day it was supposedly Kawhi said I wasn't going there without Paul George. So.
well, I think that's a good intro into. Let's talk more about the Clippers now. But like, we haven't seen them at full strength
Oh, I
for
love talking
this
about the Clippers.
for this whole seeding. Uh, for the whole seeding games, they haven't. I don't. Have you seen Harold play yet? I don't think he's even
No.
played. And Pat Beverly and Lou Will have kind of been alternating games. Everybody keeps saying that they haven't played together, so they're not going to have chemistry. But I don't know how much of an issue that's going to be because you at least, if Lou Will's not vibing with Kawhi and Paul George, you can bring him off the bench with Harrell and he'll do perfectly fine.
Then Kawhi is always gonna do his thing. He shows up in the playoffs. Thankfully, that happened for my team last year, but we know what he can do in the playoffs.
The biggest X factor for me is Marcus Morris because I don't know how good he's really fit with them. He's had a couple of good games, but I don't know. I don't know if it'd be best for him to come off the bench. But then you've already got two six-man of the year questionable guys like Hale and Lou Williams.
I
Do
don't
you
know.
now have three?
It's just scary because if you're an opposing team for the Clippers, right,
Yeah.
and you got something to play for, and you come down that court, this might be looking too far into it, but if you're the point guard, whoever you are, and you're coming down the court, and you see Paul George looking you in the eyes, you see Kawhi looking, you see Pat Bev on
Pat
top.
Bev, even like as much as a Pistons fan, I've seen Reggie Jackson suck. He might be better as a bench player, and he has played pretty well for them. Reggie's not a horrible defender. He's just inconsistent on offense, but defensively,
That's just
he's
scary
good
though to
too.
come down the court looking at.
Shamit can play defense. Who else they got a guard? What PG? Yeah. Wow. Then you got
The
Kawhi or Marcus at the three, or even
Harrell when he's
Rodney
playing.
Magruder too. Rodney Magruder's just a three and D guy.
You got Harrell when he's playing.
Down low, you got Harrell, you got Zubac, you got Joakim Noah.
They have Joakim what?
Yeah, they signed Joakim Noah right before everything shut down. He didn't even get to play a game.
But that team just coming down the court, no matter what lineup they like if it's their bench or their starters, you ain't getting much off against them that easy. I can tell you
I've
that.
never seen a team more stacked defensively. And I like even like I've never seen it and I'm 20, so I've not seen a ton. But even like looking back, my '04 Pistons weren't as stacked offensive. They weren't as stacked
And that's
with
like the
all
closest
around
comparison, and
players.
that's not Clipper level.
Yeah, I mean, defense. I don't. Bad boy Pistons were more beat you down than they were defense, but they were kind of play with the rules a little bit.
Yeah, but the Celtics can beat you. Celtics. The Clippers can beat you down on defense too. Like they're gonna be physical as hell.
Yeah,
You know they're gonna be like Kawhi. We know he's not just in Toronto, but we know in past years at the Spurs. When he wants to play defense, you ain't moving very much. You in a
no,
box. You in a box.
yeah.
I don't know.
I
I'm.
just I don't. Doc Rivers runs that team really well, but it would interest me to see what Nick Nurse as a defensive coach could do with a team like that.
I would like to see Kawhi just face the Raptors again.
That would be a very, I would be fine with. I'm literally, I know I'm gonna sound like a big hater right now, but I really don't care which team wins as long as it's not the Lakers. I may sound like a humongous just hater right now, but I really, look, I'll tell you exactly why. I disliked LeBron. I disliked him when he came in the league with the tattoo, just thinking he's gonna run everything. I disliked how he left his hometown like that. I respect players more like Dame Lillard that stay there one place their whole career, like a Duncan, like a Lillard, like a Isaiah Thomas, old Isaiah, not the one now.
Yeah.
But I respect that a lot more than what he did. Even like I'm a Warriors fan, but Durant knocks him down a notch for me that he didn't stay with the Thunder and get one. But
So
14 when he or 13 when Ray Allen helped him out, and then in 16 when the refs helped him out. And I'm gonna get talked out about that, but I really do think the refs helped him in 16. Those are the
see, the
two
thing
years that
is,
really helped my frustration grow with LeBron.
so for LeBron, and you can flame me if you want. I don't care. But skill wise, I respect him. As a
Yeah,
person,
he's got
God no.
skills.
As
Go
a
ahead.
person, I don't like him that much. But as skill wise, one of the best players ever. And I will say that. I know you may not agree, but skill wise, in his days, One of the best players ever.
Well, the only thing I respect about him personally is this. I mean, he's a good dad too, but I respect him about
Yes,
the
he is a
school.
very good dad.
He's a good dad, and I respect him about the schools. But I just don't like his the thing that. And now we're getting into Jordan versus LeBron, but the thing that I think truly separates him from, well, one of many things that I think separates him from Jordan is the fact that when Jordan came in, he knew he had to work his way up the team. When LeBron came in, he thought he owned the team. That's why I don't I just he's too cocky for me. He really is.
It's fun. It's funny though because MJ thought he was the bottom, but every fan thought he was like LeBron.
Well, it took him a week for that, which is crazy. I mean, that's like, well, Zion did it this year with the Pelicans. Not saying that Zion's at Jordan's level, but I'm talking about just the ascension was so quick for Zion, just
And
like
then
it
the
was
thing
with
is
Jordan.
that I'm not sure. Did I say this on the podcast yet about?
I don't know, just repeat it. It's a new one. I mean,
Okay, well, I was watching a stream the other day, and some guy in the comments or was like, um, MJ's never had to gone to a game 7, so he's the GOAT. And then the streamer himself is like, well, how is LeBron not the GOAT if he made it to 7 games and had to win the 7th? Wouldn't that make him better? And I was like, I clearly stated in the chat, and to you, honestly, off podcast, I was like, you just admitted to why MJ's better. He's never had to go to 7. Ever.
he always finished it. Well, let's not get too deep into this Jordan LeBron topic. That's another one for another day, and I can go
No,
on
but
for a
that's just a
while.
straight fact.
I know it is. I know this
He's
could go
never
on
even
for
been
a while.
7. How is he not as good?
But yeah, but I don't know. Sometimes people's attitude get on my nerves. But all right, let's get back to the bubble. Let's talk about let's just jump into the seeding games. The race for 8. Let's just go into the race for 8 because it just finished up yesterday because today we're recording on a Friday and the it finished right up to the end. The Pelicans heavily disappointed many people as Zion and Lonzo and Ingram had lost every form of momentum that they had. They carried. I mean, it's been 4 months, but they look like a shell of themselves, especially Ingram. He went from All Star back to his Lakers form for a couple of those games. It was sad, and then
Yeah.
but also they can't. I didn't expect the Kings to do anything. I'm gonna be honest. They didn't have Bagley, so that's not a surprise for me. But
I didn't ex-
the biggest surprise for me was the Suns. The Suns is going
if
off eight
they
straight
if
games.
they
But
had a better regular season, they would have been in the playoffs.
all they needed was one game, really, realistically. I think.
They went 8-0.
Let me look at the standings right now because I think they're only. I mean, they're done now, but I think they were only a half a game behind Memphis.
That's tough because
No, they
that
were
team.
tied with Memphis.
Wow.
If they had had one game, Blazers would have been in the eighth, been in the ninth, and they would have had because Blazers are 18 and a half back and Phoenix is 19. They would
See,
have.
I'm not sure if as a Suns player you look at the standings, but if I would be like
I
one
would have
more
been mad
game,
at Karis LeVert for missing that shot last night that he had a chance to win the game.
and they would have been wow.
I mean, they did all they could in the bubble. That you can't ask for anything more from any team than what
No,
they
but
did in
I'm
the
just
bubble.
saying.
That's one of the greatest performance, and it's made me have a lot more faith in DeAndre Ayton going forward because he was a defensive presence that whole series, that
Oh no,
whole
but I'm just
the
saying
whole
it's
seeding
just the
game.
fact that one more game in the regular season they would have been in. One more.
One more game, yeah.
Like if I was a
That's why
Suns
you
player,
can't mail it in if you're anywhere near the 8 scene, you know you've got like 30, 40 left. You can't mail it in. I mean, I know it feels bad to lose, but there's always it's the NBA. That's why we play the games. I don't play. I'm not professional at all, but that's why they play the games. That's why
yeah.
they play. I mean, because you never know what happens. Like I I was expecting when this came in for the Nets to be just a trash fire, just a trash fire. Expecting some guy from the Astros to start banging on them because they were so trash.
Uh,
But and they won 5 out of 8, which is,
pretty good.
I think that's like the fourth or fifth best record out of everybody in the seeding
Who had
games.
the best records in those games in the bubble?
Phoenix, 8
No,
0.
like no. Who had the best records?
Best record. What are you getting at? I'm kind of confused.
Like top 3 teams in the whole thing.
Oh, I'll look real quick.
The seeding games. I know the Suns number 1.
The Suns did really well.
8, yeah.
It's hard to read this, but you got the Suns. The Spurs actually went 5-3 as well.
And they didn't make the playoffs for the
They
first
did
time
really
in like,
since '96, which is
yeah.
wow. Yeah. Celtics went 5-8. The Toronto went 7-1. Wow. Toronto was the second best, and it definitely ain't Philly, and it definitely ain't the Wizards. So yeah, your big teams were Toronto and Phoenix, and there was a bunch of other.
Toronto's
Oh,
somewhat
Indiana
expected. Phoenix.
surprised. Indiana surprised too. They went 6-2.
Okay.
That was behind T.J. Warren though. But what were you gonna say about Toronto?
Toronto low key expected kind of, but the Suns no, not at all.
No.
But I didn't low key did not expect the Raptors to almost have a perfect round of their own, to be honest.
Well, anything the Raptors do this season is surprising to me because I didn't think they'd have themselves in this position. I
Nobody
didn't
thought
think I
they'd
didn't
be
think they would be
anything.
able to maneuver pieces as easily to put themselves in a position.
Nobody thought they would be anything after Kawhi left. Even I didn't.
I think the only issue going forward, and you might disagree with me, I think the Gasol for Valanciunas trade is going to hurt him in the long run for a big. It
I've said
worked.
this a few times. That move got us one move, not all. That's not the only reason, but that move got us a championship. So I really don't care.
Yeah, I know. I mean, if they
I
do
get what you
man,
mean, though.
if they manage to swing Giannis, they can move Siakam to the 5, or if they could even pull Tristan Thompson from Cleveland, they could move him to the
Oh my
5.
god, if the Raptors swing on it. Oh my god.
We don't know yet. I'm still
If
holding
the
out for the
Raptors swung
possibility of
Giannis,
maybe
oh,
Golden State, Miami, just places I've heard. I don't have any Giannis has never said anything, but these are just rumors that pop
well, he's
up.
going to a competitor,
The
so
Nick that Dolan's pushing the media that he's gonna go to the Knicks. He's paying money under the table, so they put it in his mind. Because who the Knicks? What a
do you think?
they should change the word joke in the dictionary to the word Knicks. It should be a synonym because that's what they've been for 50 years.
Do you think if Giannis goes exclude the Miami Heat or the
The what? Yeah, no, you don't want to say it, but Golden State, yeah, exclude Golden State and
no, I
Miami.
want to say it. I'm just saying. Do you think that would make the Raptors better than the Lakers? I mean, I know they kind of
Look
already.
at them now; they're already a 2 seed. It's a
I
two
know, but
seed taking the best player from the 1 seed. What do you think's gonna happen?
that they're best team in the league.
Yeah, and that's a
Which
team that it's got better shooters than Giannis has right now. That's the problem. They're inconsistent. Giannis can pass to Middleton, but if Middleton's bricking, they don't really have Bledsoe occasionally.
low key, I'm
I've
kind of.
seen Lopez go off though. When I was watching him in Detroit against the Pistons, which that's a torch game anyway, but he was hitting from deep. I mean, it's not Dame range, but like 4 steps out of the 3-point line, he's draining it. He can hit
If
threes.
I'm being honest, and this might sound like a fanboy, but if I see the words on my phone pop up, Giannis has signed with with the Rap, I'm going straight to a
Don't you
jersey.
dare say Lakers. You had me scared there for a second.
I'm going straight to a jersey store and I'm getting a Giannis shirt.
I don't
I
know.
don't care.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got more right to it than me to do something like that. It's not like you're. I'm not. I don't know.
What do you mean? Because you could get one if they went to the
Well, no,
Golden
I'm
State.
not trying to jump on that. I mean, I I'm not.
I'm sure if he went to the
I
Warriors,
would
he'd get a
agree that
jersey
well, if
too.
he go to the Warriors,
You're getting a jersey
I'd have
too.
one of them shirts I can wear at the gym that's like absorbs the sweat because
Dry fit.
I wear it everywhere. Be wearing it everywhere. People say, "Oh, you're a bandwagon fan." I just laugh in their face because I know what's going to happen when they at the end of the year.
I mean, we can dream. You never know. It might become reality for one of us or the Miami Heat. We can't live
I
about
don't
that.
know. Yeah, Miami could get him. I wouldn't sign Oladipo if I were them if I was trying to swing Giannis, but that's a separate thing.
So if you saw, I mean, this is kind of getting off track, but I just want to know your genuine reaction. If you saw, like, for you, because I already said my reaction, if you saw on your phone that Giannis has signed with the Warriors, what would your immediate reaction be?
I wouldn't be that mad. I'd be like, all right, it's a movement. I think one of the only movement that had me scared in the last couple of years. Well, before I talk about that, it would be the same reaction that I had or close to it when I saw that Durant signed with the Warriors. It would be close to that after
I would be
buying the
like
refs gave
geeking. I'd be like, oh
16.
my god, oh my god.
Yeah, but I haven't really been. I'm more surprised by trades, but I don't like overreact to it a ton. The only one that had me scared was when Kawhi was holding out for so long because I was afraid that he was gonna
Lakers were
join the
getting him.
Lakers and then all the Lakers fans would be happy and they would neglect the fact that they're the same ones who complained about the Warriors super team and they would just be happy about it, and it would just. There's no doubt in my mind that at this point in the league in the year, that would be who would have won. You can't stop. You couldn't stop that.
It's just scary because, like, for Jan, like, when I saw Kawhi Leonard got traded to the Raptors, I was like, damn, that's big. But if Giannis got traded to, oh my god.
I really think they
Trade
should
this
have.
sign.
The Bucks will be stupid if they have a very good inclination that he's going to leave and don't trade him. Because Milwaukee is not a free agent destination. They got lucky they drafted Giannis, but they have been in the dumps for years. Them in
He's
Detroit
the reason they
are
get
not
that
that good.
destination. If they get rid of him, who's gonna want to go play for the Bucks? I'm being honest.
That it's just not a spot. It really
If
isn't.
Giannis is not there, who's gonna want to play for that team?
They have to re-sign him or trade him. That's all they have to do because they're not. What do you got some breweries in town? There's not really that much like. There's no nightlife in there. Everything shuts down. It's a working class town. It's not a party city. I mean, yeah, there's probably a few nightclubs, but it's not like the one Lou Will goes to for chicken wings. I
Oh
mean,
God.
come on now. I mean, it's Milwaukee. It's not. It's
But when
just
Giannis is there, that arena is one, it's packed, and two,
yeah.
that thing gets so loud.
You're gonna lose half the fans if he leaves. It's you're not gonna lose them, but they're not gonna pay money to come watch like they used to. They had a worse attendance than Detroit, even through Detroit's slum before they got Giannis. They
See, and
were.
that's the scary part. All these like Bucks fans that are around the world right now. How many of you think of them are fake because of Giannis?
I don't know. I don't blame the ones in Greece. Those are the guys that. I mean,
Those guys are different. I'll
I
give them the
I
benefit
don't.
of the.
It depends on when. I mean, people could. I don't know. I don't want to comment too much on this because people could bring up Golden State with me, um, but it depends on when you join. When you came in there. I mean, it's just not. I don't know.
Raptors days for me, and I'm only 17, but Raptors days for me were like literally like Bargnani and
Oh
Calderon.
Lord, what a waste of a draft pick. They thought he was going to be the next Derek. Good Lord.
No, but that just shows. I became a fan of that team when they were absolute.
That's me with Detroit. I've been watching Detroit for years, and the reason why I have to look around for another team is because what am I going to do? Stop watching in April? I can't stop watching in April. I
Like,
enjoy the sport, but right? I started watching, I'd say somewhat, I started following in about, I'd say '09, and they traded Chauncey. No, I think the first thing I really remember, if I think hard enough, is when my dad told me that they traded Chauncey for Allen Iverson. That's when I really started. That's when I think it first clicked with the Pistons for me. At
You want to
least I
know
can
who my
remember.
first NBA jersey was, and this will tell you that I'm a Raptors fan?
Who was it?
TJ Ford.
Oh, I got that. Yeah, yeah. TJ. I haven't
Yes.
heard that name in years. I haven't heard
That's how
that.
you know I've been here before all of
Just gave me
this.
a flashback. Are you happy now?
That's how you know I've been here before Kawhi and the success.
Yeah, I mean, with Detroit, my first jersey, I think, was like a garage sale Tayshaun Prince jersey or something. Like I still have a lot of those jerseys. I think I haven't got rid of them because you don't find them anymore. I don't know
See,
why.
I was gonna get a Kawhi jersey if he re-signed. That didn't happen. But if
Your jerseys are
Giannis,
pretty fire, especially the OVO ones.
if Giannis gets like, I know I keep on drawing on like the dream, but
That's
if
all
he
you can have.
comes, but if he comes to the Raptors, I'm buying an OVO edition with his name on the back.
Watch him resign. We talk all this stuff and then he'll just resign.
That's not if they lose. No, I'm sorry, that's not a thing.
Yeah, I know. I know. But if they somehow pull it together and win, he's never
If they
leaving there.
win, he's staying. If they don't, there's no chance in hell. I don't care what people say.
Unless they go over the cap and pull somebody somehow.
If they pull a Ben and play him with, oh my god.
I don't know.
Now we're thinking like dream scenario.
This ain't 2K. I think we're getting a little bit off track. But all right, we're so far gone, and this is running on and on. But we got
But
to
we're
get back to
enjoying
the bubble.
ourselves.
We got to talk about T.J. Warren putting the Pacers. They were what did I say, 6-2
The
behind
Pacers
T.J. Warren.
back.
I mean, he fell off in the two games. I assume he's not having that good as time, or he didn't. I think the game's already over against the Heat tonight because Jimmy Butler likes to goof with him and he doesn't let him score. But pretty much T.J. Warren has had. Oh, they actually won tonight. How did Bubba Warren do? Oh, he didn't even play. What? Oh, that's right. They sat a bunch of people. Okay, never mind.
Oh my god. Do you want to peep the 76ers against Rockets real quick?
What the heck? This is why you have to watch you have to look at every score in the league. Like I said, anybody can win at every.
Clippers
There's
beat the
there's
Suns.
no there's no Russell Westbrook. I wonder if they're setting a Harden getting ready for the playoffs.
That is.
No, they're not. What is happening? Oh, Eric Gordon is back.
Ben Simmons isn't even playing. And
Eric
he's in.
Gordon's 1 for 11 from 1 for 6 from three. Harden's five. Or wait,
Yeah,
no, that's
James
field
Harden
goal.
doing his thing with 7. They're
Oof,
down by
their
almost.
3 point is garbage tonight. That's why they're losing.
They're down by 24 though.
You live by the three, you die by the three. And tonight they're dying.
That's tough.
But okay, we're talking about the eighth. I don't know how many people are gonna listen to this far after that long rant, but
Elijah
um, but
17 boards, my god.
but yeah, Phoenix looks. We were talking about. I said I really have trust in Aiton now to really go off, and then what we went on. Then we got off track on Simmons, and then Simmons is the butt. Yeah, all right, but yeah, but the
Yeah,
Suns have played really well. They've had Cameron Payne and Javon Carter coming off the bench, putting up points for them out of nowhere. I mean, they're done now, but they really surprised me, and I mean, they got the same record as Memphis, who's playing. I mean, one game in the regular season they'd be in the
yeah.
regular season. But yeah, um, the bubble awards, that's what we were at. Yeah, but D Book is definitely in the talks for it. You got T.J. Warren in the talks for it. They're doing a team of them, and I know Warren and Booker and Lillard and who else can you think that's been going off? So because
Oh.
there's gonna be five of them.
So who did you name off?
I said Lillard, Booker, and Warren.
Lillard, Booker,
You
Warren,
got you got
Tatum.
Tatum's been doing pretty good.
Um,
Well, Oh, it's Denver's trying to say that Michael Porter Jr. could be on a bubble team. That could be one. He did have those back-to-back 30, and he's the first Nuggets player since Dikembe Mutombo rookie to get 30 points, 15 rebounds.
Low key AD, but this is what we're not talking about.
No, AD's had he had that one 9-point game. He's not gonna be in there.
But the other one, he's moving like a point guard. So
I I don't know, man. He had another 14-point game, and he had a couple of them 14s. I don't think he's in the talks,
yeah,
but I thought they had something that they shared earlier to
I'm just
like
peeping stats right now with some of these teams, and it's really
yeah,
impressive.
Karis LeVert played pretty well. I don't think he'll make it, but LeVert's been carrying that team. Um,
Yeah,
who else is like going off? Trying to think. Um, I don't. Really though, three I'm thinking about. Oh, Luca. Luca's on that team too. Luca had that 40-point, or no,
20,
36,
20.
34 point, 20 rebound. That. Yeah, that stat. That was pretty good.
Yeah,
He's had triple doubles. He's just been going off. I don't. It just
there's only been a few, but they've just done it a lot, like themselves.
yeah. I mean, Dame had to.
Dame had it. Warren just felt like balling out of his mind.
Yeah. I don't. It's just here's that's just Dame. I'm trying to like find this, but I can't.
There's no way.
What do
Sorry,
you?
I'm just keeping stats real quick. Like team comparisons going into the playoffs. Raptors literally compared to the Lakers. When I kid you not, the Lakers went 25-10 at home. The Raptors went 26-10 at home. We had the same record on the road of 27-9.
And I think they're a perfect 2-0 against them on the season because I think their second game was in the bubble and they beat them again.
Yeah, and then you got like the Bucks here. We got the better road record than the Bucks, but the
There's
Bucks got a 30-5 home record.
the Toronto the Lakers have if they could do it, good for them, but they're gonna have a lot of humps to go over to get to the finals and let alone win it. But they could do it, but it's awfully hard for me to see it. I don't think they have the depth for it because there's not enough consistency on the bench. I've already went over this. I'm gonna quit talking on it, but it's gonna be hard for the Lakers.
See, for me, it's just a scary fact of like, sure, you play all these teams during the regular season, but when you play a team 4 straight games, like if they play the Clippers, if the Clippers see something in game one at like the end of the game, let's say, and they don't have time to adjust it, have fun in the second game.
Well, Dame and the Blazers, well, let alone they're gonna finish off the Grizzlies. Why am I even like giving the Grizzlies? If the
Yeah.
Grizzlies win, I'm gonna punch drywall because that's just gonna irritate me because I know Memphis is gonna get steamrolled because they got nobody to guard AD. But the Blazers should lock that up. If they don't, they don't deserve it.
Okay.
But
But when we're talking about that,
but
let me find it real
that
quick.
the Blazers series is gonna tire the Lakers out first round.
Oh, okay, that's who they beat by 3. Never mind. Okay.
But yeah, but the bubble that's and the Blazers the bubble MVP for not bubble the seeding game MVP for me is Dame. As much as Book put up points, Book didn't hit 61. Book did not hit 61 in the game winner, and but that bounce shot,
Playoffs.
Dame's just come up big in every situation. I don't know if there's really a better clutch player in the league. I don't know who you can just say give him the ball. Maybe
Kawhi Leonard.
Durant sometimes. I don't know. Dame's just does it. Dame did it against Houston when he was younger. He did it against the Thunder with PG. He's done it time and time again. He's slowly becoming one of my favorite players to watch.
When you think about clutch players, I mean, you can ask the 76ers. especially Joel Embiid.
Kawhi too, yeah, Kawhi. You gonna talk
Hmm.
about the shot, weren't you? The bouncy
Yep.
shot.
And then the meme of freaking Embiid balling his eyes out.
Yeah, but like if you think about it, how many of those Kawhi shots can you think about where he's done that? I can think of a
In my
lot more Dame
opinion,
Lillard shots.
this is my opinion.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
That Kawhi shot was bigger than any shot that Dame has hit.
Yeah, because that Kawhi shot had a lot more to it than Dame's shot. Dame's shot against the Thunder, I think, was to beat them 4-1,
Yeah.
whereas Kawhi's shot was, I think that's the first game winner in a second round series, with no time left in the seventh game. I
It
think
was
that's
also, I think, a big thing about that Dame shot on Paul George, if I remember it right. I think he was pissed off because nobody believed in that Trailblazers team and nobody liked Dame there.
no what. Well, that's part of it, but what else happened was Paul George talked him up.
Mad stuff, yeah.
Him and Westbrook were talking at him during the press conference. They weren't talking at him, but they were talking at the reporters. And you know, Dame's watching that later that night. He's not having that.
So Dame decides to hit a step back three in Paul George's face.
Dame's got a little bit of Jordan in him because that sounds like a Jordan thing where you get mad off of something somebody says. I mean, at least Dame doesn't. Jordan would make up stuff. At least Dame usually
You
uses
know,
stuff that
yeah.
happens in real life, but I don't know. Dame always finds I don't think Dame has to make up stuff because he just uses things from his past and things people say just to get him going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got Dame as bubble MVP, and I think that's what we're gonna call it this week. We're going
That's
on about
basically
we're
what's the word?
undisputed.
Undisputed. Yeah.
Let's not talk about Shannon Sharp now. I don't want to talk. I don't want no goat LeBron.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, we're gonna call it that week. If you made it this far, and I guess this is probably one of the most the
Controversial.
not really well, it's controversial and it's just un it's just not put together episode. It was kind of all over the place. But if you made it this far, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. And if you're on a podcast platform and watching, I'd like to thank you for either watching for the first time or watching again. This has been this is the fifth episode, and I thank you for coming and watching.
Thanks, everybody.